Pandit Tarun Bhattacharya is an Indian classical musician who plays the santoor. He is the disciple of Pandit Shri Ravi Shankar. Pandit Bhattacharya is the inventor of mankas or fine tuners that help in quick tuning of the santoor. His technique of playing the santoor is broadening the use of this beautiful instrument in various traditional art forms. His improvisations on the shape and string arrangements have resulted in a deeper and more classical sound for the santoor. He got lots of awards, to name a few. In 1997, he was the Grammy finalist for Kirwani Music of the World. He got the award for excellence in world music. He got Mahakal Samman. He got Best Critic Award in Germany. Bhakti Kalakshetra Award from ISKCON, India. Jadu Bhatta Award from Kolkata, India. My dear friends, we are really excited and honored for tonight's Star Darbar. Let us welcome Pandit Shri Tarun Bhattacharya in tonight's Star Darbar. Namaskara, Namaste and welcome to Star Darbar. And you saw what this maestro just played, and I have this honor to tell all of you that he's from Bengal just like me, and he started with a beautiful folk number, I can say, right here. And the way he explained it, let me introduce him to all of you. He is Pandit Tarun Bhattacharya, and namaskar and
Namaskar.
Welcome to Star Darbar.
Thank you. Namaskar. Namaskar.
So Dada, you just played something so beautiful. What was it?
Yeah, that was just the Bhatiyali. Bhatiyali means the Bengali folk tune.
Yes.
And you can find many similar kind of tuning in many Bengali songs. And this tune reminds us that we are from Bengal, and it's kind of nostalgic tune.
Yes, absolutely.
But really,
A lot of a lot of our viewers who are musically inclined, they all know about Santur and they know about you as well. Now tell us this, that when you started playing.
actually, at my home, music was there right from beginning. If you ask me that when I started, I must answer that I started before my birth. Because when my father used to practice, my mother used to sit before him just to I mean, he actually father was playing for me, not for my mother. So that way, right from beginning at home, music was there, and I grew up in the music. So, but initially I used to play all kinds of instruments because my father had a very big musical academy
Okay.
with the strength of more than 300 students, and we had 17 teachers there. So all kinds of instruments were there. So I started to play just like as a fun. But then when Pandit Dulal Roy ji, my first guru, he came and he was practicing with my father. So sitar, my father was a sitar player.
Okay.
So sitar and santur, but I liked the sound more of santur.
So you were always inclined towards the string instruments.
Yeah, you can say that.
Okay, all right. But now another thing is here, that I understand that the motivational part was already there for you, I mean, from your home. But how you maintained it? Because like a lot of time that happened, that you start something, then you just lose the track, or maybe you just lost it, like
I tell you,
so many things.
I tell you
Yeah.
a short story. I did not decide that I'll play this instrument.
Oh, okay.
I was just as a fun, I was playing like this, and I was not interested to learn this music at all at the very beginning. But when my father forced me to play a concert, so he taught me a small 10 minutes number, Rag Sivranjani. It's a very famous raga. So I played in a concert as a child prodigy. So I got the chance, and then immediately after the concert, people came to me and they gave me some chocolates. Somebody gave me the money, some money. So then I thought this is a very nice thing that I have, if I learn it. And my father also told me that if you learn and if you can play properly, you played here just like that, and you are getting so much of applause. So if you start learning this, and if you can play really good, then people will like you. So after that only I started to learn. So in my case, first concert, then learning.
So it is more like after seeing all those chocolates that you really fell for it. That okay, let me learn more so I can get more chocolates.
And I still remember that when tabla teacher would come, I would hide under the table. Our tablecloth was so big,
Yeah.
and the whole house they are searching for me, and I was under the table only.
Okay, so is there anyone in your family, I mean, right now with you, who is also a musician and roaming around?
No, my wife, my wife is
Yes,
Odissi dancer,
yes.
Guru Sanchita Bhattacharya.
Uh-huh.
And my elder sister and my sister, they used to play long back, but they are not playing anymore.
Okay. So now you tell us that what is the main thing about any music or any type of instrument or any type of musicians to hold on to that? Like you are playing this more than 30 years now. So what
No.
is the main thing behind it? Is it only the love for it, or is it the passion towards it?
Look, this music I describe in a little bit different way. This music, I mean, I'm talking about Indian classical music,
Yes.
is like a positive drugs. Once you start taking this drug, once you start playing, and once you play this kind of music, once you do this kind of music for at least 10 years, you cannot give it up. If now, if you tell me that I will give you this much money, please don't touch santur henceforth. So I would say no. So when I started, I asked my father when I started to learn that what's the tenure, what's the duration, of how many years it will need to learn. So my father answered me that you start learning and eventually you will get the answer.
Wow.
By and by. So now I'm learning. So but one thing happened that after few years I got addicted in it. So if you start learning and if you practice every day and if you get the essence and sentiment of Indian ragas, you cannot give it up.
True, that is true. But here, I really want to request you that since we are here and Dada is already holding the santur and he started with a beautiful folk tune, I would love to ask you that will you play something that's your favorite again for my viewers?
Yeah, maybe I can play. Actually, the santur has all the sarigamas like all other instruments and singing. So whatever you say, I can play in this instrument. And I already showed the angles of santur.
Yeah.
I have records. I mean album for Rabindranath Tagore songs. I have more than 150 albums for classical music, and I did jugalbandi, means duet, trio, fusion music. I have album for devotional song like bhajan, something like that, and I have Christmas songs album. So I have I have an album which is based on Hindi movie songs also.
Wow.
So all kinds of music I can play, but now I am playing maybe a devotional song.
Please.
Based on Rag Khambaj.
Please.
Bengali Kirtan again.
Wow. Oh my God. Acha Dada, tell me one thing.
Yeah.
Mostly our viewers also will agree with me
Yeah.
that we have a very bad misconception about the classical music. Sometimes we do feel that whoever is learning, I mean like singing, like vocalists or the instrumentalists, if you're learning classical, then they don't play any other things or they don't sing any other things.
It's just other way around.
Is this a myth?
It
That
is just other way around. If you know classical music, you can play anything. If you know classical music, then you can play anything. So our talim, our learning process is classical music. So our guru, he taught us only the ragas, mostly, not only, mostly the ragas and maybe some dhums which are based on some ragas. But these things you can play at ease.
How was your tutelage with Pandit Ravi Shankar ji?
Actually, in 1982, would you like to listen to that story? How I met him?
Yes, yes, yes.
So, I was doing recording in a big biggest record company in India, in Delhi. I was recording, and immediately the manager came and told me that Pandit Ravi Shankar ji is coming for his Asiad little bit editing for Asiad music. So I said it's a wonderful opportunity to see him in front of, I mean face to face. So he came, and immediately I touched his feet and I started, it was Delhi, so I started to speak with him in Hindi. So he first his interaction with me was Dano, means wait. You are a Bengali, Bhattacharya. So why I am Bengali, why are you talking to me in English, in Hindi? So I said I got nervous. So that was my first meeting with him, and then he gave me some times to listen to my music. I went to him in Calcutta. So after that, the Ganda Bandhan, I did the Ganda Bandhan, tied the sacred thread. Then I started to travel with him.
Wow.
Many countries, in this country, many countries, in Russia and in India, in Benares, in Delhi, wherever he would go, I will follow him. I was staying with him. And his talim, his teaching process is a little bit different. It is like a Guru Sishya Parampara, not like you go to an institution, you learn and come next weekend. Not like that. All the time we are learning, we are going to the parliament with him, and in the car he was doing something, he was teaching something.
With the rhythm.
With the rhythm, he is reciting something on the table, dinner table, and in the morning, but regular, I mean the real class was 2 times in the morning and in the evening. We used to do that. So sometimes group class, sometimes solo class, 1-to-1 class, because this instrument is, I am the only Santur students of him.
Wow. Yes, exactly. Because whoever know the maestro, you guys know that he is a sitarist, and but at the same time, he taught you so many techniques in santur as well. And while he was playing, did you notice that he was not only playing, he was using his left hand to pull some strings to make a little different noise.
I will show one or two things like
Sure.
the kirtan. It's
Sure.
a sitar thing. Like this is called kirtan, cutting two notes. Double kirtan. This and this. Another technique. So these are all, I had to learn. I had to invent this kind of sounds from this instrument because he used to show in his kharaj tar in the lower octave.
Exactly.
So-
and that you
And
try
if you listen to this thing with
Yes.
the microphone,
Yes.
it's a big sound like and many kind of like
So this was your improvisation of sitar.
these are all
into
my
santoor.
improvisation and another big my invention is like, look, this is a 100-string instrument and in the concert on the stage each and every classical instruments go out of tune very easily while
That's
we
true.
play faster
Yeah.
phases hard.
Yeah.
We bang on it. So then I have to keep the sticks, I have to take the key, and then and this key tuning sound comes in the microphone in a huge sound, unwanted sound. So what I do, look, I invented, so 3 strings are together, tuned to, 1 string's gone out of tune, but immediately I can tune from here. So
Okay.
each and every strings I put the fine tuner.
Okay.
This is called manka.
Wow.
So manka is very, this is very useful. Just like while I was talking to you, I just little bit tuned my instrument. But it will not disturb, it will not interrupt the audience. But if you stop your playing and keep the sticks aside, then you take the key and then tune and then keep the key and then it's a long
It's
process.
a long process, yes. And okay, to keep that attention of all the listeners to you, right? Because it's a like totally instrumental evening, right? So what you really do to make them like totally connected with
Look,
you
look.
and your music?
Look, if you got involved in your music, then people will got involved. That's first point. Second point is you have to judge from your stage that what kind of audience is there, what kind of people are there sitting in front of you. We need to play, we play different kind of concerts. We play for hardcore classical music concert, whole night concerts, 4 days, whole night festival. We played for them. We play for the colleges.
Right.
We play for the school children. We play for some maybe corporate concerts, product launch. So we have to decide. I mean, the artists, they need to decide what kind of presentation will be
You
for
are
my
going
audience.
to make, yeah,
That's the main thing.
yes.
Then only you can attract and you can make the bridge between artist and audience. That's the difficult part.
What was your really favorite moment? Because you were playing in so many places. you are
Really
going
favorite
into-
moment, you can
yeah.
say Royal Albert Hall. First time when I played at Royal Albert Hall. So many people, full house, they got up and gave us standing ovation. And another
Share the story a little bit.
and another story I just remember.
Yes.
myself and Pandit Vishwamohan Bhattji, Mohan Veena player, and Dayash Shankar, Pandit Dayash Shankarji, we were touring America and Canada. So in Jubilee Auditorium, Canada, so that was our first concert in our tour. I am talking about 1985. So we are coming to the music world. So my Guruji said, first piece should be not more than half an hour. Play half an hour, then another piece, then go another piece, just small pieces. So first we played this Rag Kirwani, and after half an hour, and we tried our best because that was our concert in West. So we played. Then just after finishing, people started to clap, and they started to stand up from first row to last row, 2,500 people. They stood up and they clapping. So then Bisubhai Pandit Vishwamohan Bhattji, he told me, yaar, ye log ko acha laga. They liked our performance, but they are ready to go home. Because they are all stood up. So we went. Then we went with our instrument inside. The organizer told us, "Go, please go. You have to play 1.5 hours or 2 hours. Why you came back?" I said, "They are going. Well, no, this is standing ovation. Very a few artists get this type of standing ovation." So those days, there are so many stories like this.
Share something else, because you are like going different places in this world, right? So many places you have been through, and you have played and accompanied so many mainstream artists. So
I played.
Who is your real favorite?
Who means?
Who is your really favorite artist?
Artist is my Guruji. I am he's my icon, and I am his not only student, I am his great fan. And since from childhood I was dreaming that when I can see him in front of me. So that is different. And I performed many countries, even where they did not ever listen to Indian music. They are also like Lithuania. There's in Poland some cities are there, and in Spain some cities are there, like Barcelona, Madrid, everybody goes there. But San Sebastian, Vigo, Bilbao, Gijón, Zaragoza, Malaga is a huge fan followers there of mine. So they make the queue for the autograph, like India in Malaga. So many places I go, and I went to perform where for them it was the new sound. So
it was the new sound.
But the inside of the audience is same.
Absolutely.
Way of applause is different. In India, when you play ongoing, they say, "Ah, kya baat." Ongoing, we get online appreciation.
Yes. yes.
But in West, some countries here, the many audience are already learned and educated. They also here in this country, in London. So in Canada, they say, "Ah, kya baat." But maybe in Denmark, in some cities, in Poland, those countries, in Russia I went. So there they would listen to this music, our performance, whole time, like sitting like this, calm and quiet. And after that, after the ending, they would clap for 15 minutes. In Malaga, we went to green room, we left the stage, then they started to clap on the rhythm. Then we had to come again. So that kind of audience is there.
Friends, we have to say bye now, and I'll be back again with your favorite show Star Darbar next week, same time, same day.